Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Clio Cup Season 11 Round 4 from Zolder. I'm Ben Milden. Been rushed in last minute to do this for our friend Edu. Yeah, so you have to bear with me. This race brought to you by Max Coates Racing. Like I say, it is round 4 and it's Zolder, which is a very technical twisty track. Sure to be close with these Clios. As we all know, the front wheel drive, good little fun cars to throw around, and Zolder's the sort of place that you're going to keep the cars all bunched up, especially with the chicanes and the tight corners towards the end of the lap. So yeah, I'll try my best. And we'll see how it all pans out. We have a 20-minute qualifying to start the session, followed by a 30-minute race, and yeah, I'm sure it's going to be an epic struggle. And I've just decided to switch to a party because I'm annoying the drivers. Sorry about that, everybody. So hopefully that's better. And right off we go into qualifying, and we're following Cam Diz, someone I've seen race before. So just go through who's racing. So we've got Scott McFall, and sub to me please. Etel. Hope Jack's not in this. Shock Shaft. RS Jim 77, that's a name I recognise. The Hom GWBL. Green Army 2009. If that's Plymouth Argyle, then a local man to me. NGR Amiga, who's leading the championship. NGR Fraser. RDG 124 in car 19. Shadow Stalker DBS. NGR Scooby G, another guy I've come across before. Nice chap. And a few others into Edu himself, and obviously Cam Diz I've already said about. So drivers going out now, warming the tyres up in preparation for this qualifying session. 20 minutes goes pretty fast when you're out on track, so let's just see if we can pick up some people that are near the end of the lap. And that will help if I put that map on. So get to see who goes first. Let's see if we can pick that guy up. I think it was Cam actually, he was quite close to the start of the lap. But anyway, Cam there in car number 59. These cars, like I mentioned before, are front wheel drive, very loose on the rear, which, like I say, should produce us some good racing tonight. The last race was held, I believe, at Hockenheim, and like I say, NGR Amiga leading the championship ahead of Edu in second, Jim in third, and Scott McFall in fourth, Fraser fifth. So let's keep an eye on those guys tonight and see if any of those come out on top. Cars now onto their hot laps. We'll start to get some times through, and we can get an idea who's fat and who needs to improve. Let's try to see if we can pick up someone towards Graham Ward Racing. That's someone that's just joined as well. A slide there from Etel. Orange Jim, a nice colour scheme as well, and the base one. It's a colour scheme that was in Project Cars 1 as well, I believe, on a Mercedes. And I don't know what that's all about, but that's crashing on the straight. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Just waiting for the first times to come through. We should be getting pretty close as Fraser grabs a bit of grass. Zolder track's not quite wide enough for him as he heads up to the Jackie X chicane. And we should start now getting some time through, and it is NGR Amiga with the first time on the board, the championship leader, as he drifts nicely through turn 1 there. Second place at the moment is Fraser, but we saw him make a slight mistake there on the exit of a curve that I will try to pronounce, but my my Belgian language is not quite up to scratch, but it's Boulderberg-Bocht. Yeah, it's probably English for Boulderberg corner. And who else has come through? Scooby G up to second place, 1.7 off NGR Amiga, who seems to have these cars pretty nailed down. Cam is up to third, 1.8 off as well, so bigger gaps than I was expecting, let's put it that way. Hopefully it will close up Jim with another brilliant broadside there. Rear tyre's not quite up to temperature. That's not a shock. Anyone that knows touring car racing, you know the rear tyres are the worst ones to heat up. And Fraser on another lap. Ayatel goes up to 6th, I hope I'm saying your name right. Shadow Stalker into 7th. Again, nice little drift there through Bianchi corner. So let's see if we can find anyone else that's about to complete a lap. Or Graham Ward racing there on a bit of a run through the back of and down to that corner that's completely unpronounceable. Takes a nice line in. Slight hesitation there, possibly lag related, through the Jochen Rindt curve and then up to the Jackie X corner, named after legendary Belgian Grand Prix drivers. Jackie X is quite famous for Le Mans racing as well. Anyone that's as old as me will remember that. Let's just see what time Graham gets on the board here. And he's up to third with that. Despite the lag, it's looking pretty good. And the gaps are starting to come down now. Fraser up to second. Lights ablaze in car 176. And got the gap down to a second, but it is NGR Amiga's looking pretty untouchable already. Like I say, championship leader, so kind of expected it from him. Second in the last race, so has pretty good form. So Fraser second, Graham's third, Scooby G is fourth, and completely broadside again. The gravel, yep, that'll work. Yep, keep it going, mate. Cam's still bobbing along in fifth. 2 temps up on his personal best for the first sector. This chicane though kind of, oh that's nice for there. That's what you want to do, just want to flick across both curbs. And then you come down to this, another horrible chicane just when you think you've got them out of the way. And this is the Gilles Villeneuve chicane. We all know why. Flicks it through nicely, back's just sliding a little bit, it's exactly what you want. Just a little bit of drift so you can carry the front, carry the speed. And he heads off down to the unpronounceable. There's Jim. Very nice liveried Clio, as I've mentioned before. And Amiga sent a new fastest lap, like he really needs to, but 1:47.844, which puts him 1.2 clear. Still now, Fraser's trying his best to keep up. And quite big gaps through the field, unfortunately. Sub to me, please. Really needs to get a lap time on the board, please. As he heads through the Jochen Rindt curve and up towards the final chicane. Hopefully he can do that. And another one that needs to get a lap time is Shock Shaft. And that will complete the lap times. NGR Mad Marshall. It's a little bit off the pace as well, so he'll be looking to get some times in before the session ends. Nearly halfway through now. There's RDG 124 heading towards the final corners. See if he can improve his time. Cam has gone up to second meanwhile, and Graham's up to third. And is pitted straight away, so he'll try and get another run in. Slight improvement there for RDG 124. But he still remains in the bottom part of the standings. So Cam improves, so that's a good improvement, up to second. Got a whole second, 1 second off the pace of Amiga. Here comes Fraser then, he's on a lap locking up, 2 wheels over the first curb, running it out of the final corner and across the line. Can he improve? And he does by 8 tenths. Get on, that's more like it. Now we're going to have a race at last. Car 176 is Fraser. This is hard work as well, because the pits, it's quite a horrible exit as well. Exit straight into the racing line. And here comes Jim, seems to have stopped. And there's going again. Hopefully he doesn't block the car behind. Nope, he's too clever for that. Here's Edu. And Edu's found a new way for the chicane. It's not the Dakar rally, mate. If it was, I don't think the Clio could make it. A random line there. Scott just slightly up at the first sector. There's the teammate there to the aforementioned Fraser. Just trying to see if we can find someone on a good lap. Let's see, Edu's into the pits. Let's follow Scott. A lot of track limit things going on for there. You can see them to the right of the screen at the bottom. Tells you, keeps you in touch of any track limit and validations. Obviously they're turned on, so let's see if we can find someone. There we go. Scooby G, 5 tenths up. Let's follow that then. Where will that put him roughly? That might get him up into the top 5 if you can carry that. It's being followed closely by another car, just trying to nick his slipstream. That's very intelligent, actually. I was going to say a bit naughty, but so he comes in the 52 car, a little bit drifting through the first part there, which might have compromised his line onto the front straight. Scooby G, will he improve? I'm sure he will. He was up enough, 3 tenths, so yeah, he lost probably about 2 tenths in that final corner there, up to 6th place. Let's see if we can get a look at some other people that are a little bit lower down. There's Green Army 2009. I'm going to pretend he's a Plymouth Argyle fan. I think that's probably why he's got that. He'll let me know after, I'm sure. Yeah, but he's also trying to block the car there in the background. I don't think they're on a lap though, so it won't matter. Let's move on, see if we can find somebody that's possibly improve. Ayatel into the final section as well. Rear tyres still slightly too cold for that corner. 7.5 minutes to go. Just starting a lap by the looks of that, so I'd say it's probably the same for shock shaft as well. Let's just run through the order for you whilst we've got a little lull. It's NGR Amiga, followed by NGR Fraser, Cam Diz, Graham Ward, RG Jim, NGR Scooby, NGR Edu, WRT Scott, Ayatel, Shock Shaft and Shadow Stalker in 11th. So comment going through there, we'll have a read of that if I can figure it out. Analog man in a digital world, trying to work this, but yeah, it's looking like Amiga has got this wrapped up, to be fair. So let's follow him. Looks like possibly on another outlap. And just had word that Green Army 2009 is indeed a Plymouth Argyle fan. I didn't know there was two. But go for it, John. Do it for the Green Army. And here's Cam as well. He's doing a good job in third. I've seen him race before. Pretty talented guy, as are all of the next gen guys. Raced with a few of them though. Fraser's one I've raced in another league as well, and yeah, did a great job. Really need to learn some of you guys' first names. That make it a lot easier than NGR all the time. Scooby G looking like he's on a run. Over the hill, down the rise, we should get a split time, and he's 5 tenths up, so he could be knocking the door of Graham Ward. Could be nicking the 4th place off him, and if he really nails the last sector, he could have a shot at Cam, and he's got a possible slipstream there as well in front of him. Let's see as he heads into the last corner again. This has been tricky for some, with the back end stepping out, and that looks neat to me. A lot neater than last time we saw him, and that's horrendous. It's not a great bit of driving that, parking yourself on the racing line of the exit of the corner, but and he still improves by 5 tenths. He might have got Cam if he had not been held up by that other driver there. And try to figure out who that was. And it was Mad Marshall with some mad driving, and I'm sure he's made made Scooby mad in that situation. But it's looking more and more like Amiga's going to take this out. NGR Amiga 1984. Show off, 2 years younger than me. But across the line, doesn't improve, 1.3 off actually. Fraser coming across the line now as well. We picked him up, that's good. Quite hard to pick cars up actually, if doesn't give you a great idea where everyone is. Here's Cam, he's third at the moment. Not on a lap. Just see if we can pick up anyone on a lap. Graham looks like he's on a bit of a run. We'll get the split time through for him. Shadow Stalker's trying to break the record for lap times invalidated on the right hand side of the race feed. And he's half a tenth up. That might be enough though to actually get ahead of Scooby. So let's see how he goes. Like I say, we've seen a lot of time dropped in these last 2 corners. Probably the slowest corners on the track, and they're the worst to get around. You need to pick a good break, a bit of a lock up there by the looks of it. Now use all the track on the exit. And across the line, can he make any difference? That half a tenth he was up in sector 2. Not quite, I think he did slightly improve though. Let's just see. No, not quite. That's disappointing. Nice Jim, teammate to Amiga. His teammate's 2 seconds faster than him at the moment. Makes you wonder what engine Amiga's got. Maybe he's got the turbocharged, multi-turbocharged Renault or something. That's quite a difference. And he's now moving up to the last corner. 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes remaining. So nice to see a full grid actually as well. I forgot to mention that. This race brought to you by Next Gen with Max Coates Racing sponsorship. So a great league. If you want to get involved, you might have to wait because it's a full grid. But inquire at Next Gen Racing on Facebook. It seems to be the best place, and we have Scott here nearly 3 tenths up. What can that do for him? Again, that might move him up a few spots into 6th if he completes the lap. He's got a slight slipstream there as well. Possibly, maybe too far back for that. But a nice line into the last corner. Yeah, I think it's possibly just a bit too far back for a slipstream as we enter the final minute now. So everyone are going to be on their last laps. Finds half a second. What a job that was. Pits him into 6th, and by some margin he may even try to attack Graham on his this will be his last lap. So let's see if we can find anyone else just down a bit further, give him some air time. Here's Shadow Stalker, I haven't seen much of him. Nicely through the chicane. Chicane seems to have changed quite drastically from Project Cars 1. There's a yellow flag out in sector 3 as well, down at the Lock and Rint turn. Not sure why. Let's ride on board with Shadow Stalker and see if we can see why. Nope, but it's been cleared now, so that's good news. It's going to take a lap of meteoric proportions to beat NGR Amiga, I think so. But we can pretty much safely say he's going to be on pole. Curse of the commentator coming straight up, by the way. Fraser looks most likely, but seems to have entered a drifting competition and probably will abandon that lap. Yeah, looks like it. Cam's pitted as well, so no improvement for him. Edu into the Villeneuve chicane. Nicely done. Like the apex, get on the power, of which there is 220 of. Maximum speed of 151. I like to do that in a Clio. And he is just, well, nearly half a tenth up. A lot of people now abandoning laps and giving up, so really Scooby is the top place driver. And yep, see anyone else that could be possibly on a lap. RDJ124 as well was on a lap, so let's see. Let's get Edu over the line first. Here he comes. And he goes to third. Edu goes to third on a 1:48.923, 1 second off the pace of Amiga, who seems to have this wrapped up. And let's see the teammate of Edu. Where is he? Oh, wrong one. And I'm not sure he did improve. We can check that. Yes, he did. He did improve to 1:53.834, which is still quite a way off the pace, unfortunately. Edu's still out there, but he will pit now, and that is qualifying complete. So, well done to NGR Amiga. Pole position, and by quite a long way in Clio terms, 0.470. Had a Fraser second, Edu third, Cam fourth, Scooby G fifth, Graham Ward Racing 6th, WRT Scott McFall in 7th, hope I'm saying that right, RS Jim 77 in 8th, and we leave this session to prepare for the race. There you go, there's a grid, there's a garage wall for you to look at. Ah, that's more like it. Where was I? 9th is Ayatel, and Shock Shaft in 10th. So where was Amiga gaining his time? It looks like basically in the middle sector, so through the chicanes, and yeah, so obviously a bit quicker through those two horrible chicanes, which sort of ruined the flow of this track. And here we go, then we're all lining up, so just go through the grid so you can get an idea of who's driving what. Obviously Clio's, I know, but you can get an idea of the car numbers. So number 10 is Amiga, number 176 is Fraser, and they're off. Don't get any time for that. And Amiga takes an early lead, but they're all fanning out. This is about 4 wide at the back. Surely this can't work. And he's lost the lead to, that looks like Cam, as Edu's through, and Cam is into the lead. Cam takes the lead as they turn into turn 2. Amiga won't be happy with that. And he's down the inside already. And it looks like he will take the lead back off Cam, so at least Cam had it for one corner. And it all looks like they've got through. Yep, no one straggling at the back there, so they're all through. And now, can Amiga make a break? There's a bit of a gap in the middle, but... And Cam's going for it again, he's not finished. But round the outside comes Adu. And into second place. And it's... Yep, so he can fly over the top and then into this second chicane, which is a little bit more flowing. There's a yellow flag, but it's been brought back in. Yep, that's fine. So everyone's still going. So let's go through the field. So it's Amiga, followed by Adu, followed by Cam, who's quite close. Will he make an attack down into the unpronounceable corner? Not quite, but there is a move back there. The Scooby with Jim didn't quite come off. See if we can find any other battles going on here. Sub to me, please, has made a good start into 8th place, just ahead of my personal favourite Greener Army. And as they complete lap 1, Amiga just starting to stretch his legs already, nearly a second's gap. Edu's hanging on gallantly, but we know the pace of Amiga. Cam went from 1st to 3rd and won't be happy about that. You take the lead at the first corner, you hope you've done half the job. Scooby G though, he looks vulnerable to Jim, gotta say. So 18 laps we have as the race distance, around about half an hour. Ayatel as well has made a good start into 7th. What's happened back here? Side-by-side action. This is Clio's for you. And drift mode engaged. Whoa! And that's grass. That's rallycross. Just get a look down the order to see what's going on. Lovely camera angles you get with Project Cars 2. Less said the better. And a move there. It's, is that Fraser back there? Yeah, Fraser's way down. What's happened there then? He must have been involved in the contact. Possibly why he had the yellow flag, but he's storming on his way back through. Bit of contact there with another guy, and I kind of hit him off there. I nudged his front. I'm not sure how that happened, but there was definitely contact and shadows. And yeah, Mad Marshall's in the wall. He needed a marshal to help him get out of that wall. Let's get back to the front though, and actually Edu's not pulled away any more this lap, so this might not be over. And 18 laps is a long time around this track. It's constantly turning, constant braking, acceleration, the tyres can take a right battering. But he crosses the line, and actually fair play to Edu, he's actually keeping with him and 2 tenths faster on that lap. Cam as well, just bobbing along in the slipstream. Not out of this at all. The top 3 just starting to make a slight break. So yeah, fastest lap there for Edu. The rest. Jim as well, going pretty well. He's also in the 48s. The rest aren't really part of the lead battle. All a little bit off the pace, unfortunately. Scott though in no man's land in 6th. Stuck on a rock and a hard place. As Ayatel, he's 7th, 8th sub to me, 9th is Graham Ward Racing, 10th is Shockshaft, and then we've got Fraser who's on a bit of a comeback after a poor opening couple of laps. But Amiga now actually pulled out quite a bit through those chicanes, and we know he's fast through them because Sector 2 was where he gapped the field in qualifying. So it looks like the battle will be Edu and Cam. Possibly Scooby starting to close onto the back of Cam. You'll see the lap times as they cross the line this time by. And then Jim actually falling back. He looked a bit loose at turn 2 to be fair, so setup not quite where he needs it. There's a battle here. Warning triangles are telling me they're close. You see that on the left, that means there's a battle, so I really should pay attention to that. It's up to me, not quite close enough to launch an attack. A nice little gaggle of cars here coming up to the final Jackie X chicane. So head back to the front. So 47 for Omega that lap. So it's just starting to make the break half a second quicker than Edu, who did well to hang on as long as he did. Cam Diz 148.2. So let's see. We thought Scooby might be closing. He's not. He's lost 2 temps. Got some more battles down the field. Let's see if anyone's really close. How's Fraser getting on? He's still on the comeback, and here he is in 11th place, about to make a move on shock shaft. So yep, he's probably get a run out of this corner and try and make the move at this horrendous chicane. There's a car off in front of them, and it's up to me, please. Probably leave me alone, please, at this moment. Fraser very, very close to trying to get a run through the horrible chicane, and then make a move at the Gilles Villeneuve chicane. Not quite close enough, I wouldn't have thought. Oh, locks up and sideways. Front wheel drive though, just plant the throttle and it'll get you out of trouble. I'll possibly come back to that in a minute because teammates are at war. Graham Ward and Ayatel, they're at it. And surely if they use their brains a bit, if one's faster than the other, they'll work together. Cross the line again, and this time Edu matches NJ Omega in 48.2s, and a horrible lap for Cam, 52.1. So obviously a mistake there has put him right into Scooby's attentions. And Jim again falling off and actually being caught by Scott McFall. So Scott's possibly not going to be lonely for much longer. He'll welcome a battle. And here's Graham Ward trying to go around the outside of his teammate. Careful, boys. Paper would be a nightmare if you crash into each other, but nope, they managed to sort it out, and Graham is through. He looked slightly quicker, so that's good news. He's through. And Fraser's made up a couple places since we've been away. Unlucky to miss that, but he is past shock shaft and into 9th place. How high can he go? Let's see. But obviously the battling teammates will be his first priority of Ayatel and Graham Ward. And actually out front, and Scooby's through, so that must be a track limits penalty, surely. Sorry, Edu's through. Get it right, Ben. Yeah, that's got to be a track limit penalty there. That's what slowed Omega down there. So Edu takes a surprise lead. The winner of the last race, Hockenheim, I believe it was. And it's actually the same result if it stays like this. A long way to go, and we know that Omega's slightly faster, so like the blaze now, he would be really unhappy with himself. And in the background, Cam's got all sorts of issues with Scooby G. Scooby G doing a little Mansell flick, trying to go one way then the other, trying to sell the dummy, but Cam looks too much of a seasoned pro for that. It's all about the run out the last corner, and it looks like Scooby may have got it. Just 2 tenths behind. Turn 1 is a good overtaking opportunity. You can actually go to the inside or the outside, but Scooby chooses to go into the wall instead. Not sure that's going to be the optimal line through there. And here's Fraser in 8th place, doing his fastest lap of the race, 48.8, which is pretty comparable with the leaders. So it's a case of what might have been for Fraser. Starting to hunt down Graham, and Ayatel must have made a mistake as well. Got a 2-minute lap time, and yeah, lost a couple positions there, unfortunately for him. But anyway, back to this battle. Scooby G all the way over the back of the Cam, and we've got a couple battles to follow, so this is going to be hard work. But the main one, obviously, for the win, Edu versus Omega. Now Edu's, can he hold off a man that was basically a second faster in qualifying. It's going to be a tall order, I would say. Needs to cover every apex, but it's going to be close. On board with Amiga and maybe go bumper cam. Let's see. 4 races. 5 races, 4 races. Yep. Eddie's going to have to be one of those, and he's got to run. They're alongside each other as they come to the line. Who's going to lead across the line? Your guess is as good as mine, but and it is possible to overtake it on the outside. We've seen it done already. So can Amiga carry the outside line? He might even look for a switch back. Edu slows up mid-corner there to make sure he doesn't run too wide. A clever tactic, but again, another switch back for Amiga, and if you can get the inside here, the job's done because there is no coming back. But Edu's still holding on. He's still got his car in front, and he can try and brake as late as he can around the outside and take the optimal line, or just hang it out. It looks like Amiga's got the job done. Classic move, but no, Edu's still there, and he'll have the inside for this horrible first chicane. In the background it's still Cam, you're not missing anything there, and he actually got a bit of a lead now. And Edu holds on. Master, oh, and it's crashed! Amiga's crashed, he's in the wall! And he might even lose another position to Cam, so he's gone from possibly walking this race to 3rd. Terrible bit of luck, just caught the gravel, and it just being a front wheel drive car, just pulled it straight into the wall. Alright, he'll be mad with himself now, but he's still got over half a race to respond. Wow, this is a turn up for the books. It's pretty much the only battle on the track at the moment. There's fair gaps through the field. And that was really unlucky for Amiga. Edu would be like, thank God for that. I can actually breathe for one of the first times in this race. He's surely now trying to get a gap before Amiga gets past Cam. He needs to go like hell now to get at least maybe a 4 or 5 second gap, so that he can be comfortable for the rest of the race. Because it won't be easy for Amiga to get past Cam, because we've already seen Cam can defend really well when Scooby was trying to attack him. So meanwhile, Fraser has got onto the back of Graham Ward, in fact gone past Graham Ward, because he obviously got a track limits penalty there. So that's job done. Bit of free air for Fraser now. He's about 9 seconds behind Scott. So return to this battle, and they're side by side just in time. Almost missed it, but not quite. And in fact, Scooby G will try an outside pass into the clean chicane. And he's done it. It's just dog day for Amiga. It's just getting worse. Don't buy a lottery ticket, you won't win. And Edu just starting to stretch the gap. He's got 2.5 seconds, he'll want more. But now Cam's the one that can now stretch his legs a bit and not worry about having to defend. Slightly wide there from Scooby, but he'll hold the inside now for the next corner. But he must have got a track limits penalty as well. God, these penalties are good in a way, but they also do ruin a bit of the race. Amiga up to 3rd though, so right, that's part of the job done. Now he's got to get past the hard defending Cam, which we've seen already is not an easy job. It's Graham, just about a second behind Fraser now. And there's a fight down here with my friend the Green Army, being followed by the Hon GWBL. They're battling out for 13th place respectively. Just in front of them, Shadow Stalker DBS. Let's get back to the main fight here. In fact, Graham's not giving up with Fraser. He's coming back at him. And here's Jim moving in on Scooby. So Scooby's obviously made a mistake because he was right on the back of Amiga. I know he got the shortcut penalty, but shouldn't have cost him as much as that. So Scooby, how far is he down the road? oh sorry, Edu, how far is he down the road? Not much actually, so obviously made a mistake because he's 1.5 off on his delta, which is his fastest lap time, so you wouldn't expect him to be that much slower already in the first sector. So a clear mistake there, I would have said, from Edu. Not what you need right now when he's got a chance to win this. Cam in second, looking fine actually. He's not looking under pressure, not making any mistakes. He's driving really well. He's keeping the lines, and Amiga's gonna have to work for this if he wants past. And he's got another track slower penalty there, I would say, because he's slowing down a little bit. Instead of collecting trophies, he's going to be collecting penalties by the looks of this. Scooby G with an interesting race so far. And today's person on his bumper is RS Jim. Scott McFall's just not been able to quite get involved in this battle. He's just off there in 6th place, but it's a safe 6th place. 10 seconds back to the charge in Fraser. See who Airtel's truck, I said truck, load of understeer there. Graham just, he will not let Fraser go, will he? He's determined to hang on to him after that slowdown penalty. Being dragged along nicely, doing 49s, mid 49s, and that's quite a lot quicker than Scott, so Scott might have some company towards the end of the race. As we're just over half distance now. Here's Jim, still tracking Scooby G. And Cam now really on the back of Edu. Wow, through that chicane. He's looked quick through there, through qualifying and the race. And there's a mistake in the background I did see. I'm sure there was a mistake. Scooby G, I think it was, made a mistake through that chicane. We've lost Graham Ward, I think, did we? Left the session. That's unlucky. Possibly a connection issue. We did see a couple in qualifying. But Cam has all of a sudden got the bit between his teeth and he is chasing down Edu. So just when Edu thought he was going to have a nice, easy race, turns out not so much. Wow, teammates at play. So possibly another slowdown for for Scooby G. Oh no, not Scooby G. Talking nonsense again. Amiga. And he's hanging on to 3rd place with his teammate Jim straight behind him, and Scooby also looking to capitalise on any teammate shenanigans that might go on. Break now into turn 1 at Erst. In the corner, a toe stubbing moment. Let's see how these cars are handling. It does look like Amiga can hold a tighter line, so that's always handy in racing. So he's still got his lights on, but out front we really need to concentrate on that now, because Cam is now applying pressure to Edu from a very close vantage point as they headed to this chicane once again. Clean chicane, kleiner chicane, and through the swooping boot corner, and Villeneuve chicane coming up right in front of him. In the background there's all sorts of chaos, but you can see they're not quite as close as these guys. And hopefully it's not track limit penalties that are going to decide this race. Hopefully it'll be a clean fight and Cam can make a move. He's got a good sort of run heading down now into this tightest corner on the track. He'll look to get a run out of this and then make a move at the jacket chicane, but traffic could be an issue, and it's coming up, and that looks like our friend the marshal. He's looking down the inside. It's more of a I'm still here, don't forget about me kind of moment there. Scooby G is still there, will not give up, sees a couple of teammates and thinks I can scout both of these and get myself on the podium. How's Scott doing? Is he Oh, that's not a good time to join you, I'm really sorry. All sorts of drama there. And the gap to Fraser is now 5 seconds. And there he is. Let's see the relative lap times. 52.6. Plays 51.0, so 1.5 seconds he's losing per lap. And this is now on. This is less than 2 tenths. That back marker could be an issue. Does look like our Marshall friend that's going to be getting lapped. Hopefully he's clever enough to move over, and he already has, so that's really good for the driving there. Down towards Villeneuve again they come for the 12th time. Has a little look again, but nothing really doing. Got a message, but it's completely unreadable on the chat there, so I won't bother. Scooby G then. Still hanging on nicely. But somehow Amiga's now just completely disappeared from them, so there have obviously been some slow up penalties. I think Jim and Scooby G possibly guilty of that. Cam again, will he have another little feint down the inside? He does. It's not on and he knows it, but he's just trying to make Edu lock up like he did, and then possibly get a run onto the front straight like he has. He's closing, you can see on the delta at the top there is 0.171 or 0.160. Surely he'll make a dive down the inside. He does, he's going for it. Cam's going to go for it. Edu's seen him, he's going to take the long way round, and that'll give him the advantage for turn 2. Great bit of driving by both, giving each other racing room. If I was Cam, I'd have those pink mirrors off that Project Cars racing car though, but that's just me. Bit of hip and shoulder never hurt in touring car racing. Cam car number 59, try saying that when you're drunk. Make a move on Edu for the win, and he's going down the inside now. He's got the line. It's just too risky. He doesn't want to risk it through that horrible chicane. Edu sideways. Now he's got the line surely up towards Villeneuve as they come through boot. And all this is helping Amiga catch back up, and 2 into 1 will not work. Edu gives him room again. But like I say, look at the gap that Amiga has closed down. He probably thought this race was over 2 laps ago. But all of a sudden he's closed what probably was a 4-second gap in about a lap and a half. Now he's right back in this. So Cam really needs to get past Edu if he wants to win this race. It's a worst case scenario. He's having to attack and defend. And again, we know the pace of Amiga. He's the fastest guy out there. No other battles at the moment on the track, so you're not missing anything. Oh, that's late. I think he just managed to bail out of that Amiga at the last moment. But what a battle for the win. We weren't expecting this after the qualifying time, so this is great to see. And into lap 14 they go, so they're all running out of time a little bit now. Cam again having a little look into turn 2. Nothing doing. It's possibly to defend at the same time, so I say it's not ideal for him. Amiga maybe just sit back a little bit and just see what happens between these two, and then make a move a little bit later on. So head down now again to this horrible chicane, and another battle here is Ayatel. It's up to me. We've got Scooby G just off the back of Jim. This is the one we really do need to watch. I'll try and cut away to people if I can, but if we miss something on this, I'll never forgive myself. Edu versus Cam versus Amiga for the win then. So message me who your money's on. I'm too tight to put money on anyone, but if I was going to, I'd say Amiga looks the more likely. He looks aggressive and possibly going to pull a move now down the outside. Don't think that's going to work. They'll switch back and pulls a master stroke. Found room, worked the angle with Cam, and Cam's been defending like a hero, and it's still not over though. Cam will have the inside for the last chicane, but it's, well, someone's got NOS. And Amiga up into second place, and Adu will love the sight of him in his mirrors. Not. Cam's still fighting back. He has pulled the outside pass before, but Amiga's too wily and he cuts that off. So 4 laps to go. Oh, what? Not only has he got NOS, but he's also got a handbrake, and he's off into the boomies. Brilliant Project Cars 2. Right, he's off into the gravel. He's gutted, flashing his lights, saying, "Why have I done that?" All that hard work to get Cam in a brilliant move, and it's all come to nothing. And wow, Jim's off on the Dakar rally there. Come on, Project Cars. Right, he went off badly there at the Bianchi corner, and Scooby G's now on him with a run. Who needs 4 wheels when you can have 2? Scooby G looks like he's got a good run on him. Jim will defend, but he can't really defend from the outside. And through goes Scooby G, and into 4th place. So not a good lap for the base 1 cars. But already Amiga's starting to come back at him. That's a bit further off actually from last time we saw, so possibly a corner cut penalty there. So we're going back to what we had possibly 5 laps ago. It's Adu versus Cam, and in the background you've got Scooby G versus Jim. Fraser's not going to catch Scott, so Scott's managed to respond on pace, so that's good news for him. The only other battle is Airtel versus Shockshaft for the minor placings in 8th and 9th. Good points though, so they'll want to sort that out. And 10th, oh, in 10th is a rearranging track designer of Sub to Me, please. Yep. And Cam has taken the lead. Damn, I missed it. I knew I would. Cam has taken the lead off Adu as the marshal leaves, possibly to move to another post. And it must have been at turn 1, because that's where Cam was strong. He's dived down the inside and passed him. And Adu will not like that. He's led most of this race, and Cam's come from basically nowhere to win it, if indeed he does. But Amiga's not out of this yet. There's still time. 2.5 laps to go. I know Adu finds himself in the slipstream and has the advantage of being the attacker. And switch roles of predator and prey. This will go down to the last corner, I'm sure of it. No room on the inside there. Cam's, as we know, he's very wily at defending. These cars with 220 horsepower. Front wheel drive, 6 speed. Producing great racing, and there's some great racing in the background which I managed to see. There's Jim going down the inside of Scooby G. Let's see if he gets this done. I'll switch back to the leaders quickly, and he has. So that's better news for base 1. G's not finished there, gives him a little flash to the lights. Gone to the outside, really flashed to the inside at the last second. Nope, job done. Meanwhile, oh, Edu's got the lead back. Cam going around the outside. Penultimate lap time. And look who's coming back into this fight. It's our friend NGR Amiga as he goes wide, collects a bit of gravel there. Oh, what a fight this is for the win. Edu on 2 wheels as Cam comes back through and retakes the lead. literally changing positions twice a lap. But who will have the advantage when it comes to the end of the 18th lap and the next lap? And Edu basically pushing Cam through these corners. Amiga's sat there laughing, thinking any minute now these two are going to have each other off, and a bit of grass there for Edu. The track's not quite wide enough, and he may have left the door open for Amiga, who gives him a bit of a barge and says, I do actually want those pink mirrors after all. And we know that Amiga's got pretty good speed down the straight, and he's got the help of a slipstream from Cam, sorry. And all this going on to the last lap, and in the background Scooby G has got back past Jim. So here we go, last lap time. Cam leads Edu, leads Amiga. As quick as that. Lap times have dropped because they're knocking 10 balls out of each other. Or 10 bells, sorry. Scooby G ahead of Jim. Just try not to miss anything though, and Edu around the outside. Surely that ain't going to work, and oh, it's going to end in tears. Free oppressed into turn 2 will not work, guys. Cam slows up, he had to, and Edu finds himself back in the lead. He probably doesn't even know what position he's in anymore. But Amiga into second, and Cam's drawn, and Amiga's lost. He's straight into the wall again. And surely Cam will get him, and Cam has got him. But Edu is the man that's possibly going to win this race now. He's got a second's lead over Cam, and Amiga, who's done his best to lose this race. He's done a pretty good job of it as well. Jim's now taken to flying through the chicanes to try and beat Scooby G. Might have a run on him down into the Villeneuve chicane. But wow, what a race. And here it comes, Edu's now, and Cam's coming back at him. He's taken 3 attempts out of him already. Edu will be starting to feel the nerves now as he's coming towards the end of the race, thinking it's won, but Cam's really closing on the brakes. He'll have one more opportunity. Edu's a little bit wide there, so he'll lose momentum onto the straight through the Ockenrint curb. Back markers won't be an issue. Edu's defending, Cam's coming at him. The gap's coming down, it's less than 2 attempts, and he's going to go for the inside. He can, he's going for the outside. It'll be a drag race to the line. I think Edu's going to do this. Or will he? Cam's alongside. Cam's going to nick it on the line. Cam's going to do it. Who's going to win? It's going to be a photo finish. Oh, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Cam won it. Amiga third. Scooby G just gets fourth. What a race. And Scott, well, we can guarantee he was sick. He was sick from lap 1, to be fair, so good race from Scott. Solid result. Fraser did well to come from dead last back to 7th. We won't be happy with that though. He had good pace in the middle part of the race. Shockshaft and Ayatel have still not finished with each other, and there's a little nudge there to say, you beat me but I want your bumper. And these guys across the line, and that will be Shockshaft in 8th, Ayatel in 9th for flashing each other because they both enjoyed that. 10th for Sub to Me Please, despite trying to rearrange the track. Only joking. Good drive. Actually good pace as well, 50.2 there as well. And Shadow Stalker DBS coming through for 11th. Again, quite a lonely race. But what a finish that was, and I'm pretty sure I do won it by like the narrowest margin I've ever seen in an online league race. Here comes Hom GWBL through in 12th, and well, that's what happens when I back someone. 13th for the Green Army 2009. We'll settle for promotion, mate. So what a race, and Edu does win it from Cam, and it wasn't by 1.4 seconds, I know that much. Cam second, says Jim third, Scooby G fourth, Amiga fifth, I'm not sure that's right. Scott sixth, we know that's right. Fraser 7th, Ayatel 8th, Shockshaft 9th, and Sub to Me Please is 10th. that was a next gen race. That was the Max Coates Racing Clio Cup from Zolder. The next race is on May the 5th at Brands Hatch Indy Track. So get online, check it out if you want to join. Yep. Hopefully you'll have better commentator for next week, and thanks for putting up with me. I was Ben Milden. See you again soon.